Hey, good Sunday morning, everyone. This is Joe. It is Sunday, November the 27th, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, which means it's almost always the first Sunday of Advent, the first Sunday of the liturgical year, the beginning of the year, the beginning and preparation for the coming of the birth of Christ, which we all know is December the 25th. I welcome you today. I welcome you if you have been part of my journey here for the past couple of weeks or months, actually. And I welcome you if you're first time here. I always welcome more people. I think we need to build this community because we really do need to redefine our happiness. It is something that is so critical for our peace and compassion to be spread throughout the whole world. So we do that here by looking at the Gospels in a very unique and fresh way, a way that is inviting to all, practical to all, and something that we could take with us into our day and into our week. And hopefully we're going to do that today. So again, I thank you for being here. Let's quiet our minds and hearts as we prepare to hear today's Gospel, which is from St. Matthew, chapter 24, verses 37 to 44. Jesus said to his disciples, "As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. In those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, up to the day that Noah entered the ark. They did not know until the flood came and carried them away. So will it be also at the coming of the Son of Man. 2 men will be taken out in the field, one will be taken and one will be left. 2 women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken and one will be left. Therefore, stay awake. For sure you do not know on which day your Lord will come. Be sure of this. If the master of the house had known the hour of night when the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and not let his house be broken into. So too, you also must be prepared, for at an hour you do not expect, the Son of Man will come." So Jesus paints for us a picture of being ready and calls back years and years ago to Noah's Ark, where people were in a similar state of mind, just not being prepared for the coming of Christ. And certainly that can be the case today as well. We need to have ourselves a little bit more on the ball, a little bit more ready for what may come into our life at all times. It is so important for us to have this vigilance about us. Yes, we can enjoy life while we do it. It doesn't mean we have to sit and pray every minute and be mindful of everything we do. We can live our life, but we have to have this as our foundation. But more so, what I want to look at today is something that's very interesting in the gospel. It is Jesus calling back a memory from years ago and saying, see, things today are the same as they were many years ago. How often, and I am so guilty of this, do we say, well, back in my day, things were much different and things used to be this way and things used to be that way. When I read and prayed over this gospel and prepared my thoughts for you, I scolded myself because I say that so way too often. And I thought about it and I realized something, that the words of Jesus, as always, are much more on the mark. Things years ago and things today, the important things have remained the same. Oh yeah, sure, there was an ice cream truck that rolled down the street and used to be able to buy ice cream for a nickel, and oh sure, there was only 7 TV channels back then, and oh sure, you went to school and you had to be on time, and yeah, I know all that, and I've said all that way too many times. But let's look at what's the same. The same are the most important things. These are some of them. First of all, happiness, that is defined in our own thoughts and actions. That was the same 100 years ago, 200 years ago. It's the same today. It always will be. The good feeling about doing the right thing. That was the same 200 years ago, that's the same today. Doing the right thing, defining the right thing, defining a good faith life, moral life, a good ethical way of being a good person, that's always been the same years ago as it is today. And finally, and most importantly, God was present 200, 300 years ago. God is present today. God will always be present to those who are vigilant and appreciative of his presence in our life. So the most important things, they're the same 2,000 years ago as they are today. And that's what Jesus was pointing out. And that's something that we can take with us into this Advent season as something very positive. And let's look back at all of the positive things that we knew years ago that we could take into our life today, that we could be happy and gracious about them. And yes, use them to motivate others to do the same. Like I said, the good feeling of happiness, where it comes from, doing the right thing, and having God in our life. There's others. If you have some, share them with me. Share them with me in the comments and everyone else so that we can share together this way of redefining happiness through the gospel message. If you have them and you want to keep them to yourself, I understand that too. If you want to just wave and say hi and be a part of this group, I'd appreciate that as I appreciate your presence. So my friends, yes, we are often running to redefining happiness in a very positive way so that peace and compassion can be sought by all creation. I wish you all a wonderful Sunday. Please check me out at joedwyerjr.com, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Take care, everyone.